will rise, deadly to the core. The chicken chains will tear through you. Your dark grave soon awaits.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Game Nights audio podcast. I am one of your hosts, Swag, and of course, I am joined by the legendary KWING.
Hey, what's up, gamers? I know today's a Wednesday show, but I had to visit my grandparents in New York, and, well, I was on vacation, so today's the day for another awesome episode, and we got a jam-packed show, as always.
Absolutely. We have got your gaming news. We are going to throw it over to KWING, who has your new releases for the week. We're going to talk about the games that we're now playing. We're going to answer your questions. It's going to be another jam-packed episode today.
Whoa!
Yes, and KWING, how have you been, my friend?
I've been pretty good. I've been messing around with some tracks that Chris Holland sent, like Mega Man 2 and Zam, or Zombies Ate My Neighbors, adding some really awesome, scary sound effects to the amazing arrangement of the Pyramid of Fear stage, which is epic. That's all I can say. It's epic.
Excellent. Well, there's a bunch of news to get to today, so we need to hurry up and get to this stuff to make sure that we've got time for it today. So it is time for your video game news.
News with Swag.
All right. Well, the first piece of news that we have going on here today is that Bethesda has bought out id, or ID, or whatever you want to call them. They're actually owned by ZeniMax. This is the press release here. It says ZeniMax Media Incorporated, parent company of the noted game publisher Bethesda Softworks, today announced it has completed the acquisition of the legendary game studio id Software, creators of world-renowned games such as Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, and its upcoming title, Rage. The acquisition of ZeniMax Media joins together two of the finest, most respected video game developers in the world, combining the first-person shooter expertise of id Software and the acclaimed role-playing game developer Bethesda Game Studios, creators of the 2008 Game of the Year Fallout 3 and the 2006 Game of the Year Elder Scrolls 4. Bethesda Softworks will publish the titles of id Software other than upcoming releases previously committed to other publishers.
Ooh.
What do you think of that, KWING? Two big powerhouses coming together like Bethesda and id.
Pretty sweet. They've been assimilated into one company.
Yeah, I mean, yep, it could be good stuff. We'll see what happens. Okay, next piece of news that I have is that Best Buy, now this is actually something that was announced previously, but now they are actually implementing it. Best Buy is now getting into the buying and selling of used video games. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the GameStop's biggest source of revenue comes from used games. Because, you know, they'll buy games from
ripping
you.
people off.
Well, essentially, yeah, because, you know, they essentially will give you, you know, half of what the game is worth retail. So, say it's a $50 game. They'll usually give you, you know, say $25 for it. And then they turn around and sell it for $45.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, they're you know, there's something like a 90% markup on used games. So, therefore, they make the most off of used games more than anything else. And Best Buy took notice of that, and now they want to get into it. So this is the latest news on that. The Richfield-based consumer electronics retailer this week, excuse me, began testing used game kiosks at several of its stores in Dallas and Austin, Texas, according to a posting on Best Buy Chief Marketing Officer Barry Judge's blog. Customers can insert their used games into the kiosks, which will scan it for functionality, then immediately issue a voucher redeemable for a Best Buy gift card. So it sounds like that it's like an automated system. Like, you know how you can like rent movies from those machines at the supermarket now?
Yep.
It sounds like this is like the same thing. Like you put in the game into this machine, it reads it, and then it will issue you a ticket for the value of whatever they think is the value of the game. Now, I think this is also great because now GameStop's actually going to have some real competition as far as buying these used games back. And hopefully, this means that it will force them to start offering more money for the games. Otherwise, Best Buy might steal their business.
Never know.
What do you think? Do you agree?
As long as they actually give us decent money for games that are at least not even a month old, I would be okay with that. But I don't know, EB Games, GameSpot, they just seem to rip people off. Like if a game's been out for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they'll tell you the first week they'll give you like 25 for it. Then the next week or within 5 days they drop it to $15. And then after that you're lucky if you get $10 or less.
Yeah, well, of course it all depends on the game, but hopefully that this is going to, this will stimulate some good competition between the two. Because let's face it, GameStop really doesn't currently. I mean, until Best Buy adopts this policy at more stores, GameStop doesn't really have a whole lot of competition as far as the used game market goes.
Very true.
Got to get that money. Collect those coins. Get that money, GameStop. Well, guess what? Your luck's going to run out because Best Buy's coming in to take some of your action. All right, moving on to... Ooh, I'm excited about this.
I can tell.
Yes, The Punisher, No Mercy, which is a game that's being made exclusively for the PlayStation Network, is set to unleash his vengeance on PSN. Zen Studios announced today, which was yesterday, the 23rd, that Punisher, No Mercy, inspired by Marvel Comics' rich Punisher comic book history, is confirmed to be released on July 2nd, 2009, and will be available exclusively through the PlayStation Store for $9.99.
Cool.
And here's a quote. Our team has been working long hours to deliver a first-person shooter experience that will live up to the Punisher name, said, okay, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Zolt, Z-S-O-L-T, Kigyossy, K-I-G-Y-O-S-S-Y, managing director for Zen Studios. And it's being powered by the Unreal Engine number 3. And Punisher No Mercy was designed with fast-paced online multiplayer action in mind, and the game allows players to choose from an eclectic mix of Punisher allies and villains. Battle arenas span from the shipyard's rifle with contraband to the birthplace of the Punisher's archenemy, Jigsaw. And up to 8 players can blast away at each other in a variety of solo and team-based missions. So for $10, I mean, there aren't too many, first-person shooter multiplayer games out there you can get for $10. And of course, you guys know that I'm a big fan of the Punisher series. Done reviews on several things on the Punisher, including comics and games and stuff like that. Only problem is that I don't own a PS3. I don't have one here. I don't know. Maybe I can download it at the Got Game office or something like that.
There you go.
Right.
Hey, I don't have a PS3, so...
That's okay. We'll let you slide on that. And another piece of news that actually has come out today is that THQ has announced that they are essentially splitting their company up into 3 different segments. Now, this is kind of like what EA has already done. Where EA Games actually separated their company into 3 different segments. There's EA Sports, there's EA Games, and then there's I can't remember the name of it. I think it might be EA Casual now. It was like, they make like Pogo and most of the online games and the cell phone games and that kind of stuff. So that way, you have their own 3 separate entities working on different things. Well, THQ decided to adopt this same policy. And actually, I'm surprised that not more companies have done that already. Basically, they're going to structure it into 3 groups, which are core games. Then there's kids, family, and casual games. And then they will have online. And I think this is great, that THQ has basically come out and said that they are now going to focus on quality over quantity. And I think that you know, at least as far as like this year, that they're really going to live up to that, because I think that they have some great titles that are coming out this year, such as Darksiders, Guerrilla Faction, and Warhammer 40K Space Marine. And you know, I think it's good that they're not going to spread themselves too thin, you know? That they're actually going to start putting more emphasis into making, you know, good games instead of, you know, a whole bunch of other crappy games. Which is good because, you know, THQ really isn't known for making great games, you know?
Yeah.
So THQ gonna try and build up its IP base